The Indiana Fever just lost back-to-back games against the Dallas Wings, 19-0 run, against the Washington Mystics, 18-7 to start the fourth quarter. Lost the lead and lost the game. We just lost back-to-back games against teams we had no business losing to, even without Caitlin Clark.
When it looked like the Indiana Fever has lost another game due to Kelsey Mitchell. Guys, for this one here.
Well. It seems Stephanie White and Kelsey Mitchell have managed to turn yet another winnable game into a comedy reel, and the internet isn't letting this one slide. The most frustrating part? Sophie Cunningham, the one player who could have shifted the outcome, was left completely wide open. Wide open. Instead of capitalizing on that opportunity, Indiana fumbled the moment, and now fans are questioning every decision that led to the collapse. Which brings us to the real question. Would you have trusted Kelsey Mitchell in crunch time, or was there a better option staring everyone in the face?
Coaching versus the Mystics, her game plan was piss poor. It looked like a third grader probably writ her game plan out.
It's almost unbelievable that we're still having this conversation, but the Indiana Fever continue to supply fresh material. Their latest disaster, fueled by Stephanie White's questionable play calling, and Kelsey Mitchell's inability to finish games, was the kind of meltdown that makes fans scream at their TVs. And then there's Sophie Cunningham, standing wide open like the human answer key, arms out, ready, probably even mouthing, "Pass me the damn ball." Instead, she was ignored like a group text from your aunt at midnight. The disrespect couldn't have been louder if it had been announced over the arena loudspeaker.
Until late in the third quarter, you guys were struggling offensively in that frame. Second half in general, did you feel the same as the first half on that end? Did something change for you guys, or did you see us kind of leading strong on that end?
Yeah, I think we were just kind of slow. And every time that we're slow, especially defensively, it just somehow affects our offense. And so I think the thing that we just have to continue to do that kind of got us on the run we had for the last couple games was we were aggressive after pointing attack on defense, and that led to easy transition buckets. That led to everyone being aggressive and on their front foot on the offensive end. And, we have new players, and that's okay. But, we just have to adjust, and we need them. We've faced a lot of adversity. But we should be used to that by now.
This is what happens when ego collides with poor decision-making. Stephanie White clearly believed Kelsey Mitchell was her go-to closer. But the reality is that Mitchell has the reliability of a vending machine that eats your dollar. Sure, she can put up points in spurts, but when the game is on the line, the pattern is painfully familiar. She clanks shots, forces drives, and fumbles key opportunities like clockwork. The numbers don't lie, and neither do the collective groans of Fever fans who've already seen this movie far too many times.
Second quarter comes around. Slippage starts to start. We get up to a 13-point lead. Eventually it falls down. We end up 5 at the half. And that's not a bad half. Come out of the half of the dreaded third quarter, and we are flat. And I feel like in quarters like this, it just feels like we're slashing our own tires. Like we are stifling our own momentum at every turn we can. Like the team came out and they literally looked like they were uncoordinated all of a sudden. Like they were just missing easy shots. They were like overshooting. Like they were trying to draw fouls or something. I don't know what's going on with this team.
It all started with the wrong player taking the wrong shot. And instant regret doesn't even begin to describe it. But before diving too deep into the finger pointing, let's talk about Sophie Cunningham. Time and again, she has proven that when the game is on the line, she doesn't shy away from the moment. She's not a superstar, but she's clutch, reliable, and brings the kind of energy that rattles defenses. On this night, she was wide open, practically waving a neon sign that screamed, "I got this." Yet somehow, Stephanie White went with the least clutch option possible. That's coaching malpractice, plain and simple. Even Caitlin Clark, now in her second year and already carrying this franchise more than the coaching staff deserves, looked completely fed up. The cameras caught her expression after the final play, and it was pure frustration. No words were needed. Her body language said everything. Why didn't you pass to Sophie? Fans were thinking the same thing, but this wasn't just about one possession. It was a full game implosion. Indiana had momentum, the crowd was behind them, and the Mystics were hardly unbeatable. The Fever had several opportunities to seize control, yet they coughed it up with lazy turnovers, sloppy defense, and stale offensive sets. Stephanie White's play calling looked straight out of a decade-old coaching manual, leaving her players lost and out of rhythm. Poor preparation, mixed with poor execution, spelled disaster. And when it mattered most, the wrong decision sealed the collapse.
Carolyn Peck been, and where has the Indiana Fever are a more dangerous team without Caitlin Clark conversation gone? How come once the Indiana Fever suddenly stop that 5-game win streak, lose 3 of their last 4, how come Carolyn Peck has suddenly stopped showing up on TV? How come that narrative of the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark? Why has that suddenly stopped?
Fans weren't quiet about this either. Social media exploded the moment that final possession ended. Clips of Sophie Cunningham standing wide open on the perimeter spread like wildfire, and the roasting began immediately. Both Kelsey Mitchell and Stephanie White were dragged for what many are calling the dumbest decision of the season, and honestly, they earned every bit of it. There's no blaming the refs, no blaming fatigue, and no blaming luck. This meltdown was 100% on the coach, and the player who decided that hero ball was the answer.
Stephanie White press conference, we know this lady is allergic, flat out allergic to the word accountability. Stephanie White takes no accountability for anything. We are going to watch her pass the blame to everybody. I have not watched it yet. I'm going to see it with you.
This loss raises a much bigger question. What exactly is Stephanie White's long-term vision for this team? From the outside, it feels like she's more interested in forcing certain narratives than actually winning basketball games. If winning was the priority, the final play would have been drawn up for Sophie Cunningham or Caitlin Clark, not Kelsey Mitchell. That's not just criticism, it's reality. Mitchell has shown time and again that she isn't a reliable closer, yet she continues to be handed the keys in crunch time. That's not strategy, that's stubbornness. For Sophie, the slight has to sting. She did her job, spaced the floor, got open, and was ignored because of coaching decisions that defy logic. Choices like this chip away at player trust, and once faith in leadership is gone, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. Beyond the locker room tension, the bigger issue is the standings. The Fever are sliding, and if these collapses continue, they'll limp into the playoffs looking like they don't even belong. That's unfair to players like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, who are giving everything. They deserve a coach who knows how to finish games, not one who keeps repeating the same costly mistakes. And the irony? Sophie Cunningham's proven. Clutch ability is exactly why opposing defenses respect her, yet her own team ignored her. This loss raises a much bigger question. What exactly is Stephanie White's long-term vision for this team? From the outside, it feels like she's more interested in forcing certain narratives than actually winning basketball games. If winning was the priority, the final play would have been drawn up for Sophie Cunningham or Caitlin Clark, not Kelsey Mitchell. That's not just criticism, it's reality. Mitchell has shown time and again that she isn't a reliable closer, yet she continues to be handed the keys in crunch time. That's not strategy, that's stubbornness. For Sophie, the slight has to sting. She did her job, spaced the floor, got open, and was ignored because of coaching decisions that defy logic. Choices like this chip away at player trust, and once faith in leadership is gone, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. Beyond the locker room tension, the bigger issue is the standings. The Fever are sliding, and if these collapses continue, they'll limp into the playoffs looking like they don't even belong. That's unfair to players like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, who are giving everything. They deserve a coach who knows how to finish games, not one who keeps repeating the same costly mistakes. And the irony? Sophie Cunningham's proven. Clutch ability is exactly why opposing defenses respect her, yet her own team ignored her. Apparently, Stephanie White didn't get the memo. Instead of trusting the right option, she let Kelsey Mitchell barrel into the lane like it was a casual Tuesday practice scrimmage. The result? Exactly what everyone expected. A missed layup, a wasted possession, and another tally in the loss column. That's not strategy. That's incompetence disguised as coaching. And make no mistake, this entire collapse falls squarely on White's shoulders. A head coach's number one job in crunch time is to put players in a position to succeed, not to fail, and certainly not to repeat the same disaster you just watched unfold in the previous game. Yet somehow, White drew up the exact same scenario, handing Mitchell another chance to do what she's already proven she can't: close. It's like trying the same dead batteries in a remote, hoping the channel finally changes. At some point, you have to admit the batteries are shot. And that's exactly what Mitchell is in crunch time: dead weight. She might shine for 3 quarters, but when the fourth arrives, she crashes like Windows Vista, always at the worst possible moment. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham wasn't asking for superstar treatment. She wasn't looking to overshadow Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston. All she wanted was the chance to do her job, take the wide-open 3 and send the crowd into orbit. The fact she didn't even touch the ball is criminal. Sophie's probably replaying that possession in her head right now, wondering how a coach who preaches team basketball could ignore her so blatantly. Unless, of course, your name is Sophie Cunningham. Then apparently the team doesn't include you. And as for Caitlin Clark, let's not forget, she's in her second year. Now, not a rookie anymore. She's no longer just the shiny new face of the WNBA. She's already carrying a team that refuses to help her succeed. Caitlin Clark is supposed to be the foundation the Fever are building around, yet she's forced to watch her coach blow another late-game situation by trusting the wrong player. If you're Clark, how can you not start questioning whether this is the organization that will actually allow you to reach your full potential? Right now, the answer looks like a hard no. This isn't just about dropping games, it's about losing trust. And once you lose the trust of your best player, the clock starts ticking on her patience. That's a dangerous game for a franchise that simply cannot afford to lose her. Clark's reaction said it all. Her frustration was written all over her face. Fans saw it too. That wasn't the look of someone upset about a single missed shot. It was the look of a star who's sick of watching the same mistakes sabotage her team. If she's already this irritated in year 2, imagine year 3 if nothing changes. Spoiler: it won't be pretty. Fans have been shouting the same message for months, but the Fever front office clearly isn't listening. Stop overvaluing Kelsey Mitchell in clutch moments. She's had years to prove she's okay. A closer, and she hasn't. At this point, she's not an asset in crunch time. She's a liability, yet somehow she keeps getting the ball as if she's some Kobe Bryant clone. The delusion is staggering. And this isn't just a one-off. Collapsing late has practically become the Fever's brand this season. Close games don't excite their fans anymore. They terrify them. Everyone knows how the script ends. Flashes of brilliance from Clark, steady dominance from Boston, maybe key contributions from Lexi Hull or Sonia Citron, and then, boom, the ball ends. Up in Mitchell's hands, bricked into oblivion. Rinse, repeat. Regret. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham quietly does everything right. She spaces the floor, moves without the ball, takes on the dirty work, and delivers when called upon. That's exactly why fans are furious. On her behalf, she's earned those clutch opportunities, but instead she's ignored while the same failed hero ball script plays out again and again. This wasn't just a wasted possession, it was a slap in the face to a player who had earned the right to take that shot. Sophie Cunningham may not grab headlines every night, but her teammates know her value. After this fiasco, it's fair to wonder if even she is questioning her role on this team. And what about Aaliyah Boston? Once again, she put up a strong stat line, because she always does, only to watch another game slip away thanks to a brain-dead coaching decision. Boston deserves better. Clark deserves better. Cunningham definitely deserves better. What they don't deserve is a coach treating end-of-game possessions like a lottery ticket, just hoping maybe this time Kelsey Mitchell won't screw it up. Spoiler, she will. The bigger picture makes it sting even more. The Fever sit at 18-16, clinging to 7th place by their fingernails. That's nowhere near good enough for a team with this much talent. And these aren't just ordinary losses. They're momentum killers. You can't build confidence when every close game ends in disaster. By playoff time, this team will either be mentally fried or booking early vacations. And for that, fans can thank Stephanie White and her so-called strategy. Fans aren't blind. They see the wasted possessions, the stubborn play calling, and the refusal to learn from mistakes. Social media let Mitchell and White have it after this game, and honestly, they deserved every meme, every sarcastic comment, and every "Trade Kelsey now" tweet. Because when you ignore the obvious, you get clowned. And they earned that. Clowning. The real tragedy here is wasted potential. This roster has the pieces to be great. Clark is a generational talent. Boston is a rock in the paint. Cunningham is a reliable shooter. Even role players like Lexi Hull bring value. But when your coach can't manage the final 2 minutes, all that talent gets flushed away. That's exactly what happened. It wasn't the Mystics being unstoppable, it was the Fever beating themselves. Bottom line, Stephanie White and Kelsey Mitchell handed this game away. White for drawing up the wrong play, Mitchell for bricking yet another clutch opportunity, and the team for watching Sophie Cunningham get iced out like she didn't exist. That's the story. And unless something changes fast, this won't just be one bad night, it'll be the Fever's legacy. Instant regret over and over again. So what do you think? Should Sophie Cunningham have taken that final shot? Or do you still believe in Stephanie White's vision? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next meltdown. Breakdown. Would you like me to tighten this up into a punchier YouTube-style script? Shorter sentences, more conversational? Or keep it in this long-form breakdown style?